Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, my name is Rihanna Tiasira Hidayat and I come from Madrasah Sanawiyah Samarinda. Today I'm gonna tell you a story about the doomed prince. Once upon a time there was once a king of Egypt who had no son for many years. But when he prayed to the gods to give him a son, and here they listened to him, now the seven sacred cows, the haters who knew what would happen to every child in his future life, came to greet the babe at his birth and said that his fate will be to die either through a crocodile, a serpent, or a duck. The people who were tending the child went at once and repeated to the king what the haters had foretold. His master was terribly grieved at the sad news and became full of trouble, so he gave orders that the child should be shut up in a fine house in his country. Many servants were to wait on him, and every kind of good thing for which he asked was to be his, but he was not allowed to go out among other people, lest one of his three dooms should overtake him. Now when the child was nearing grown up, he was standing on the roof of the house and saw a dog following a person who was walking along the road. He said to the servant who was with him, "What is that which follows the person going along the road?" The servant replied, "That is a dog." The young prince said, "Let what like it be brought to me." The servant told his master the kings of this thing. His master said, "Let God be there for him a boar hunting dog to run before him." So the prince became the owner of a beautiful dog. But when the prince was quite grown up, he wearied his palest son and sent to his father, saying, "Why should I remain shut up forever? I am doomed to die by one of three deaths. Let God do whatever pleases him." His majesty the king had married another wife, and she did not at all wish the doomed prince to be kept safe from his fate. She hated the prince and urged the king to listen to his message and send him forth from him whatever was in store for him. The man led the prince out of Egypt to the land that lies upon the northeast and said to him, "Go now wherever thou art thine own master." The prince set out upon his travels, and his faithful boarhound followed after him. At last, the doomed prince reached the land of a prince of Mesopotamia. This prince has an only daughter and no son. He had built a high house for her and had placed her window many cubits distant from the ground. Then he sent to the old prince of Syria and said to them, "Whoever can climb my daughter's window shall marry her." Many royal youths came and tried to scale the wall, but none succeeded, as they were engaged in their daily efforts to reach the windows of the princess. Approached the doomed prince, they welcomed him hospitably. They took him into their house, washed him, and gave fodder to his horse. They did every pleasant thing possible for the prince. They lodged him, they shot his feet, they brought him to their table. The princess said to him, "Whence comest thou, thou good youth?" He replied, "I am the son of a horseman of Egypt. My mother died and my father took another wife, a stepmother. Thereupon she hid me, and I fled before her." They went to climb according in their custom every day, and the doomed prince stood afar off and watched him. The princess went to the point of the roof of the tower and watched them also, and noticed the doomed prince. One day, the youth joined in their efforts to climb to the windows of the princess. He not only outstripped them, but reached her window, and she drew him into her room. Someone ran to congratulate her father and said, "A man has scaled the wall of the tower and reached thy daughter's window." The prince replied, "Which prince is it?" But they answered, "It is the son of a herdsman who has run away from Egypt, from an angry stepmother." Then the father of the princess grew exceedingly wroth and said, "How can I give my daughter to a runaway from Egypt? Let him go back again." So his messenger went from the person and said to the yacht, "Go back to the penguin's door, Ernest." But the princess loved him and would not let him go. She wept and would not be comforted, saying, "By the name of Horus, the sun god, if I may keep not him with me, I will neither eat or drink." A messenger went to the prince and told him that his daughter was on point of death and would neither eat or drink. But the princess swore a great oath and said, "By the sun, if he is slain, I will die too. I will not pass an hour of life without him." A messenger went with all speed and told his father these things. He ordered the yacht to be brought before him. And when he saw the yacht, he too loved him. He embraced him and kissed him and said to him, "Behold, thou art into me even as my own son." The prince replied, "I am the child of a horseman in the land of Egypt. My mother died and my father took another wife. She hated me and I ran away before her." So the prince gave the doomed prince his daughter as a wife. And he gave them a handsome establishment and many servants. One day, the latter said to his wife, "The 7 haters doomed me at my birth to die by a crocodile, a serpent, or a dog." Then his wife begged him to take every precaution possible. And she said the faithful boarhound must die, but her husband would not listen and said, "I will not my dog to be killed. How could he do me any harm?" Later, the prince journeyed to Egypt and was out catching birds when a crocodile came out for him. Fortunately, there was a young giant who caught the crocodile and shut it up, so that the doomed prince escaped his first doom. The giant not killed the crocodile, for it was a sacred one. Sometime after this, there had been a feast in the yacht's house, and he was weary. He lay down on his mat, and sleep overcame him. His wife sat near him watching. A serpent came from a hole to bite the yacht, but his wife caught the serpent, and they both drank wine for the serpent, who drank greedily, wrote, and lay down overcome by the wine. Then the woman killed and threw it into the bed. She awoke her husband and told him all that had passed. "Behold, thy God had given one of the doomed into my hand." Then the yacht sang offerings to the god and worshipped them. That's the story of the doomed prince. Hope you enjoy. Thank you very much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.